Hi, this is Aaron Sadia, and I'm going over the biggest trade made by the current general manager of the Arizona Coyotes. Well, that's not really true because their general manager currently is Steve Sullivan, and he has 0 moves to his name. He's first-time NHL general manager, he's their interim GM, and they're in the playoffs, so nothing is getting done right now. So the focus is going to be John Chayka, the general manager who has just left the Arizona Coyotes. Before we start, I would like to thank the websites that helped me in my research: HockeyDB.com, EliteProspects.com, NHL.com, CapFriendly.com, SecondCityHockey.com, Wikipedia.com, and HabsEyesOnThePrize.com. Thank you very much. So, the trade that involved the most players in Chayka's history with the Coyotes happened during the summer of 2018. The Coyotes acquire Marian Hossa, Jordan Oesterle, Vinny Anastroza, and a 3rd-round pick in 2019. Chicago acquires Andrew Campbell, Marcus Kruger, Jordan Belletta, Mackenzie Entwistle, and a 2019 5th-round pick. Now, I'm not going to do a whole trade tree. Well, that would be fun. There are 2 problems. The lesser of the 2 issues, it's not really my thing. So, if you want to see some good trade trees, check out Sportsnet's channel and watch Steve Dangle's trade trees. The second problem is that this tree is 2 years old. You won't get very far with a trade tree that old. But I am going to compare the 2 sides because we're looking into Chayka's career with the Coyotes. So starting with the Coyotes side, Marian Hossa. Now you might remember that Hossa ruled himself out for the 2017-18 season because of an equipment allergy. A couple months after the season ended, he retired. 2 months later, his contract was traded to Arizona, giving Chicago some cap room. Jordan Oesterle has been a solid defenseman for the Coyotes since the trade. He played 71 games last year, and this year played 58, even with the shortened season. Vinny Anastroza brought even more depth, and when he arrived in Arizona, he had already played 2 years of NHL hockey, and he has played in 140 games since coming to the Coyotes, out of a possible 164. He also put up 22 points in 68 games this past year. And the pick they got from Chicago, well, that's over here. The 3rd rounder was traded to Pittsburgh for 3 picks, who turned into prospects. So, to summarize Arizona's side, they got a defenseman and a forward who can play almost the entire season. They got a 3rd rounder who they flipped to Pittsburgh, and became a 4th, a 5th, and a 7th, who were all picked by the Coyotes and are still with them today. Okay, finally, Chicago side. The first player is Andrew Campbell, and he was placed on waivers before the regular season began, but is no longer playing, so that's one against Chicago. Next up, Marcus Kruger. Wait, what? He was on... Oh, yeah, okay. He was on the Blackhawks, and he was drafted in 2009 by the Blackhawks. Then he was traded away to Carolina, and then was traded away to Arizona, and then was traded to Chicago. But because Chicago loves bringing the band back together, whether it's Brendan Saad, or Andrew Shaw, or Brian Campbell. But he didn't work out either. He left Chicago after the 2018-19 season, and went to play in Switzerland. So that's 2 players down. So the 3rd player has to be somebody that Chicago won on, right? Well, the 3rd player is Jordan Belletta. However, he wasn't medically cleared to play, so the Blackhawks put him on waivers, and then, with mutual agreement, terminated his contract. So another piece from the trade gone. But we've seen trades work out when only 1 or 2 pieces work out, like the Ryan McDonagh trade from Montreal to New York. Maybe these 2 pieces will be home runs. Well, the next piece was Mackenzie Entwistle. He actually kind of worked out. After playing for the Hamilton Bulldogs for 4 years, and then the Guelph Storm for 1 year in the Ontario Hockey League, he played in the American Hockey League for the first time this season. He scored 11 goals, 26 points, in 56 games. Not bad for a rookie in the AHL. He has also played in 2 preseasons for the Blackhawks. In a couple of years, he might be available for the NHL. And that final piece, now you're wondering about that 5th round pick from 2019. Oh, this is going to be fun. Well, 5th round picks don't generally turn out great, so he was probably a bust, right? Well, not really. Hard to tell. Before I get into who he is, let's play Check the Pick. The 5th round pick was originally Arizona's before trading the pick to Chicago, who held it for 6 months before trading it to LA for a guy you might know named Dominik Kubalik, who was drafted in the 7th round in 2013. Rob Blake and the Kings held on to the pick for less than a month, and on February 11th, they traded him and Nate Thompson to the Montreal Canadiens for Calgary's 2019 fourth-round pick. And Montreal picked. With that 138th overall pick in the 5th round, they selected Frederick Nissen-Dachau. He went on to stun everybody and play in the NHL that season, right? Just kidding. He played one more season in Denmark, and is coming over for the 2020-2021 OHL season, whenever that will be, to play for the Sudbury Wolves. From the HabsEyesOnThePrize.com, Jimmy Beauregard, an analyst for Danish TV, says that his strongest quality is that he's very strong mentally and is a good kid with his feet on the ground. And we'll have to keep 2 eyes on him to see where he ends up. So before I finish up, I would like to once again thank all these websites. That'll be my research: HockeyDB.com, EliteProspects.com, NHL.com, CapFriendly.com, SecondCityHockey.com, Wikipedia.com, and HabsEyesOnThePrize.com. Thank you very much. So, in conclusion, Arizona's side. Arizona received a big contract of a retired player, that shouldn't say from, 2 capable NHL players, a pick that they traded for 3 more picks that they still own. Now, on Chicago's side, they got a lot less than it looks like from here. A prospect who retired after 1 season in the AHL, a forward who left after 1 season, a center who didn't play for them or their AHL team, a right winger who has played in 2 preseasons with Chicago, performed well in the AHL for 1 season, and it seems like he's the only one who turned out from this trade. A pick they traded away, and I put question mark next to Dominic Kubalik's name, because you might say that Chicago won because they got Dominic Kubalik as an extension to this trade. But maybe Arizona won because they got 2 actual NHL players out of this deal, out of the actual deal, not a secondary deal. So, in the end, in my opinion, John Chayka won the biggest deal of his career with the Coyotes, because while Chicago may have gotten Kubalik for one of the pieces from the trade, you can clearly see that the Kings didn't really care too much about Kubalik. They had a good reason. He was a 7th round pick, hadn't played in the NHL yet, and was playing in the Czech Republic. And I think they could have traded anybody for him. I don't think it was going to have to be that goalie. Meanwhile, the only player who's still playing for the Blackhawks plays in the AHL. Mackenzie Entwistle could end up being a star in the league, but right now he's in the AHL, and right now the Coyotes have 2 players in the NHL from that deal. I have to give it to John Chayka. The biggest deal he ever made, he won. Now let's see what Steve Sullivan can do, the interim general manager. Thank you for watching and enjoy your day.